ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. We will continue our discussion. So here, so we're discussing that there are four different levels of committing offenses. First is we are trying to compare a person. So first thing what we do is immediately when we see a person, we start uh, evaluating, okay, where he stands, what is his level, what is his
Alert from software update.
so what is his position. So this is a certain level of committing offenses. So it may not look offensive initially, like, oh, I'm just seeing how much he's how big the person is, how great the person is. So even this is considered an offense. uh, so it, like, say, when we are comparing, it's always in our favor. That means I feel that I am better than him. So many, in a certain level, this is violence. So this is the first violence that is explained by Kapila Muni. Now Daksha is in the fourth level. We are just going through different levels. So this is the first level where person is seeing the fault in others. It may not look, it's very innocent only, but it is still offense. Like, say, even if somebody in India, they don't like, if they're having some type of hatred or some sort of negative feeling even about Rahul Gandhi, say, that will affect their chanting. Krishna will not accept their service. That's the reason we are not able to progress so fast in our bhakti, because we keep some sort of hatred or malice to somebody. So this also will not work. Because first thing is we are identifying ourselves with body, and inevitably this this what happens is this identity with the body appears in some kind of hostility, envy, some kind of anger in relationship, and we and this is the main enemy, because I want to develop love for Krishna, but there is some enmity with some living entity. So people, they think that this person is against Hinduism or anything. So even that also is not good for our chanting. No, what we have to see is, yes, see, everybody is a spirit soul, a pure soul. Somehow he has some conditionings, and if we see that, then only it is good. So this is even the first level only, and we are extinguishing the fire of bhakti with all these negativities in our heart, and this is manifested as an insult. Insult means offense, it is, and this is a problem. And even if we are seeing somebody made fun and we are happy, see, I did not comment on this Congress party. And nowadays devotees, they have this problem. Somebody else is doing and I am seeing it and I am enjoying. No, it won't work. In this type of, this is this, we consider them as enemy. This will not change our heart. It's detrimental for our heart. Bhakti is 24 by 7. It is such a delicate, very fine principle. If somebody in America, if they hate Trump, in India, if they hate somebody, it won't work like that, because I want love. And at the same time, I give the will to opposite trends. So trends that reset my attempts to find love. And then we are surprised that I don't succeed in this. This is the problem. So Krishna is very clearly explaining, Kapildev is very clearly explaining why we don't feel God in our heart. Why don't we feel his presence? Why do we feel sometimes abandoned? So all these things, because only one reason. In my heart, we have this type of enmity. Now we need to learn to put end to this hostility inside. How to change this hostility to other living beings to something that will be accepted by God. And when I have love, there is no problem. But what uh, interests us? So we are interested in this, like this. Why we are not? The main problem is now the recipe is very simple. Krishna is giving the simple recipe is respect. Now people think that, oh, I am respecting. No, like say I have some, like two things we discussed yesterday. Okay, I have nothing to do with this person. He did something bad to me. I'll give distance. Now what happens? Something bad happens to that person. There is some joy in the heart. Okay, he got right punishment. I did not do anything. Somebody did it, or he did some mistake and everybody came to know, and I am feeling joy. Even that won't work. So this is very this is actually, these are the 4 degrees of manifestation of anger or envy, and the main reason is because we identify ourselves with the body. And bhakti is transcendental. Bhakti don't get affected, but we get affected because we identify with body. And identify with body is two things. Like, one is they are stopping me from my sense gratification, then I have to fight against it. Second is I am competing with others, that they should not be better than me. So these two things are there. Don't stop me from enjoying, and don't be better than me. And this is actually what Daksha is having problem. We'll see when this the fourth degree. We just discuss 2 degrees, so we will again just revise them. So these are 4 degrees of manifestations. So first is avagya. So it is one level of arrogance only. Some arrogance attitude towards other people, and it's a habit of looking down on others. This is very deep inside many of the people. It's a comparison, and comparison is always in our benefit. We discussed also in our favor only. I am better. It remains only to understand, like now, the fact is, I am better. That's always true only. Just need to understand and like avagnya is what expression did, like guru or avagnya. Guru or avagnya means a person is trying to. This is the third insult, trying to find fault in guru also. This tendency is there. So of course, lowering the other person. And I have seen also devotees, they find fault, and they can tell also fault in everyone. And this is the materialistic tendency. And nowadays, all this fault finding we have in India in the social media is full of like that only. It's very dangerous. And we were discussing this also. Why social media is so dangerous? Because people, they are very cruel, and they don't know the intensity of their cruel. So if I say some word, we get affected. But here it is like that. So this is the first level of insult. And then we discussed the story also yesterday of how devotee in Vrindavan, he wanted to take initiation. His guru said, give 1 week time, get a person better than you. He understood even the worm in the stool is also better than me. So then this is one understanding. Now, the second thing is that uh, vidambana, here second level is that we are neglecting the person. So this is also one way. Even if we are keeping distance, we should not have that negative feeling for that person. So this is very dangerous. Like uh, sometimes third level is when we are seeing that the person is suffering and I'm very happy. Gail Mataj, you had some question?
Hi, Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I just like to understand the difference between recognizing I don't know, a character flaw or a fault in someone and fault finding. So I'm wondering, is fault finding like when you see, like, with some kind of malicious attitude toward the person, you recognize the fault, and you just see it as a reason to, I don't know, write the person off, or to condemn the person. Whereas a person, someone else might recognize the fault without that negative attitude, and therefore, in that person's case, it would not be considered fault finding. Yeah, I'm just trying to see when it is that um, acknowledging a fault in a person can be considered fault finding, and when it's not fault finding.
Like anytime our see basically bhakti means na what Lord is trying to tell, it is not some external formulas. Okay, tomorrow onwards do this, and then you are a pure devotee. It's not like that. Bhakti basically is the change in our way we are looking at this world. That's actually what Krishna wants from us. Now, when he is telling these instructions, he is telling that now you change the vision. Now we see that this person is trying to, he is also having something, is a spirit soul spark connected to me, completely pure. Externally is covered by all these conditions, and we don't take them seriously. Now, say somebody is under you, who are dependent on you or whom you are guiding, that time you take their faults seriously so that you can help them. But if we see faults in others who are not connected to us, we don't take them seriously because he is a spirit soul, is very pure. He is just conditioned by it. Say if Adolf Hitler is there. But according to Krishna, he is also spirit soul, very pure only. Externally is covered by the conditioning. So we don't take when we're dealing with people, we don't take their negative things seriously. We will try to be careful so that we don't get exploited or we don't get harmed by their negative things, but we don't take that seriously. What we take seriously is that okay, this person, if he is a devotee, is struggling to become closer to Krishna, is a materialistic person, we say maybe he is also having a hope, if once he get association of good devotees, he will also become devotee. So we are trying to change our internal programming in such a way that we are looking at the world in a different way. That's actually what Krishna wants us to do. Look at a
Mm.
world from this point of view. If you are responsible for people under you, your subjects are there, then you need to work on them, and that time you take that seriously to help them to come out of it. Not even there also we are not envious of them. This is actually the standard. The guru sees the faults in disciples to help them, but he is not envious of them. And when others are there who are not connected, we only see. So basically, bhakti is the change of our internal systems. That's the main thing.
Okay, very nice point, Prabhu. Um, but one other thing is, what if um, you see somebody having a kind of behavior that just does not sit right with you, but the person that you're seeing, I mean, I can only call it like a character flaw or something, you know, in a person who has a position as a sannyasi, right? Or some, like elevated position, and if it is not out of malice, but I mean, you can't help but recognize that this thing is there. So, I mean, of course, we should not see the person in some one-dimensional way. They have great devotion to Krishna. They have they inspire so many people, right?
Yeah.
So many positive aspects to that person is there, but I'm just, what to do when you recognize something that is like a negative in a person, even though they have so many of the positives. But what how would you comment on that?
Yeah. So here, we it is not going to bother us so much because we are not responsible for it, and it is the responsibility of his superiors or his equals to help him. And we see that, and we say, okay, because I am honeycombed with faults, that's why I'm able to see fault. Maybe it is not fault also. He and Krishna want, he can remove it also. And I am able not able to see the good things. I am only seeing fault because of my conditioning. It's not wrong with any of the people. Like, what is the difference between Yudhishthir and Duryodhana is, Yudhishthir is able to see good in everyone. Is he sentimental? No. His view of the world is like that. What about Duryodhana is not able to see even good in anybody? That is his internal programming. So it's not that the world is different. World is same only, but my way of looking at the world is different because of my programming. So every time anybody is seriously having a problem, we don't deny it, but we say just change yourself so that you'll not see that part. You'll see a different part because I am a different person. I see the things in a different way. So any fault we are seeing, it's only our fault. Our programming is wrong. There may be fault, but there are good things also. Why I'm seeing fault? Why I'm not able to see the good things? That is my question.
No, as I said, the good things are acknowledged by the person.
Okay, then
Definitely.
that's only we should focus on that part only. Why we should focus on the negative part then?
Well, because sometimes the negative part is, you know, like a is very um impactful to people, you know.
Why it is?
Like sometimes it's not like like a small thing. Sometimes it can be very hurtful to people.
Yeah. So if they are connected to you, that people, you can try to help them. Look at the things, because that person is an instrument of this person's karma. See, if somebody is coming and troubling me or did something to me, that person is only an instrument. I am getting what I need deserve to get. So if you are saying, oh, this because of him others are getting affected, yeah, he is becoming an instrument of their own bad deeds or whatever Krishna want to give them. Without Krishna's sanctioning or without their not doing, the person who is a victim, can you say that he is 100% innocent?
No.
So then why you are blaming the person who is the instrument of karma?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's not fair to say that this person is 100%. No, we when it comes to us, we should know that it is my own thing, my own misdeeds. They are manifesting like this. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing,
Oh.
see, what we have to
Mhm.
pray, na, we should not become instrument of other people's bad karma.
Yeah.
We should not
Yeah.
become instrument of others. That's the only thing we should do.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. There is a question, is it applicable to family members, especially children, Prabhuji? Applicable, I mean, it's a question, I'm not completely clear, Mataji, like what you want to say applicable in terms of finding faults with children, because they are dependent on you and you are responsible, you have to correct them, help them, not to become envious. Sometimes parents, there is envy manifested. Yeah, we should not be envious. We should always helpful. And if we try to don't have expectations, you should know they are also conditioned. They are also working, and try to encourage them whatever possible. Show some. Uh, you may have the parents will have love and affection, but the way they show may not be the way the children want. And another big problem is that expectations of parents are different, and there is we have to give space to the children to grow and understand, and yeah, protect them. Best thing is to give time, spend some time with them, and children don't want to spend time with parents, but there will be some places where children, and don't be, you have to accept your child as it is, don't be judgmental. If you don't compare them with others, don't you accept them as it is, then it is very easy for them to come out of any conditionings or any faults there. Yeah, maybe some other time we can discuss on children part, and if some topic comes in between, we'll try to discuss on that children aspect also. I will try to share some points. Yeah, for children, it's not a problem. So, and I want to share few more things that now second way is I try to prove myself better than others. So that is also another manifestation. So first is I am just internally feeling comparing, and second is I am trying to prove myself. Like people, they donate and then they want their name to be written, and then this is also another thing that no, why they want to say that, see, I did better than all of you. I am the biggest donor for this temple. So this is also another way of some sort of negative thing, towards others. So we want to have a respect from others. This is a very important thing. If a person does not show respect to other living beings, but worships the god in temple, then the result of such hypocritical practice is that he begins, he don't get much benefit. And this is like food for arrogance only. A person becomes more hypocritic, and more and more external practice of devotional service comes. And if you want to know that hypocrisy is there or not, so it is very easy. Like uh, devotees, they have this uh, tendency. Of course, I have almost told few things, but um, we'll just take one more thing, that so people built their attitude. So they watch slightly down on others, does not prevent us from communication. We can look down in general outwardly. It is quite normal to communicate with people. But behind our backs, we will be, of course, talking some shortcomings of others at home or with friends. So this is also another way of violence. And if we look down, it does not prevent us from communicating. We are normal good guys, but it does not turn out that we start speaking about others. So this is also one type of upeksha. Means everything I do not want to have anything in common with the person. Very often people build their relationship this way also. Let them live at all, and somewhere, and I'll not be in touch with them. So this is also one hostility, talking negative about others. And then the last thing which the Daksha did is directly offending. So which he's doing here. And then there is curse and counter curse which is happening between the followers of Daksha. This is also a very big problem, that what happened that time we are all paying. And a few more things I wanted to share in this, that may those who are envious of Lord Shiva be attracted to the flowery language of the enchanting Vedic promises, and who have thus become dull always remain attached to fruitive activities. So Veda promises Yamimam Pushpitam Vacham, flowery words of Vedas. And why this aspect is given? Because they wanted to enjoy in that particular way, and Vedas are helping them to fulfill it. So not a problem. And then it says, these Brahmanas take to education austerities known vows only for the purpose of maintaining the body. They shall be devoid of discrimination between what to eat and what not to eat. They will acquire money begging from door to door simply for satisfaction of the body. So the third curse inflicted by Nandishwara and Brahmanas was who supported Daksha. See, they did not directly say anything to Shiva, but they were very happy when Shiva was offended. So this is the problem. I told this third thing is like, we don't say anything, But when somebody says about the people who don't like, we enjoy it. Like there is a tendency in devotees, they forward some jokes on some other political parties, jokes on somebody else. Somebody was criticizing third person because I am enjoying and I'm forwarding others also. So this is actually what these people did here with when Shiva was insulted. They also had some sort of negativity for Shiva. They never offended. But when Shiva got insulted like that, they were very happy. So Nandishwara is uh, giving punishment for all of them. Are you enjoyed Shiva doing? Okay, take this. And he's telling that who supported Daksha is completely functioning in the age of Kali. The so-called Brahman. See, this is affected. Even actually from that time onwards, all these things are working, but it is now very nicely manifested. The so-called Brahmanas are no longer interested in understanding the nature of Supreme Brahman. Although a Brahmana means one who has attained knowledge about Brahman. In the Vedanta Sutra also it is stated, Atavato Brahma Jignasa. This human form of life is meant for realization of the Supreme Brahman, the absolute truth, or in other words, human life is meant for one's elevation to the post of Brahmana. Unfortunately, the modern Brahmanas or so-called Brahmanas who come in original Brahmana families have left their own occupational duties, but they do not allow others to occupy the post of Brahmanas. The qualification for Brahmanas are described in scriptures. So this is and Bhagavad Gita also, how that comes. If someone from a non-Brahmana family, for example, are born in families of Shudras, try to become a Brahmana by being properly qualified under the instruction of bona fide spiritual master, the so-called Brahmanas will object. And this is because such Brahmanas have been cursed by Nandishwara, are actually in a position where they have no discrimination between eatables and non-eatables and simply live on to maintain the perishable material body and its families. Such fallen conditions those are not worthy to be called Brahmanas. So, like Prabhupada is giving example of Ramananda Rai, how he's considered, even though he's a family man, he's born in a Shudra family, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is sannyasi, but he's taking his association. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called Haridas Thakur, Ramanand Rai, they are like spiritual masters. So this is because it's not by birth anyway. And when all the uh, nowadays Brahmanas are bandhus of Brahmanas, yeah, they are Brahma Bandhus, they are not Brahmanas as such. And when all the hereditary Brahmanas were thus cursed by Nandishwara, the sage Bhrigu, as a reaction, condemned the followers of Lord Shiva for this very strong Brahmanical curse. Now, Bhrigu reacted. Now, this is a fight between ignorance and passion. We already discussed. So, Bhrigu and all, they are all followers of Brahma, they are the creators, and this is affecting them. And then these followers of Lord Shiva, they are Tamoguna, followers of Brahma in Rajoguna, in one level. Of course, they are great level of Sattva also, but still it's like that. So the word Duratyaya is particularly used in reference to Brahma Danda or curse by a Brahmana. The curse by a Brahmana is very strong, therefore it is called Duratyaya or insurmountable. As Lord states in Bhagavad Gita, see, now we may say, Arey, not all Brahmanas are like that, some Brahmanas are devotees also, right? That means if they come to Krishna, then they can overcome these curses. Like we know the story of Barbaric. He happened to be the grandson of Bhima. So when Krishna asked him, he comes as a Brahmana and tells him, okay, show your power. He says, I can just finish off everything on this. Any arrow can destroy everything. One arrow can destroy all the army. So then he says, okay, this is a tree, banyan tree. You pierce the arrows of this tree. So he pierces all the arrows and then it comes to the lotus feet of Krishna and started hovering over it. And then Krishna asked, why this is coming around my feet? He said, maybe one leaf is there under your feet. So then Krishna lifts his feet, then it pierces that leaf also. Similarly, these curses they will affect on everyone. But if Krishna, you take shelter of Krishna, these Brahmanas, then it will not affect. Of course, if Krishna wants like Parikshit Maharaj's case and all, that's different. But in general, there are some Brahmanas who are in they are surmountable. This Duratteya. As Lord stated in Bhagavad Gita, the stringent laws of nature are insurmountable. Similarly, if a curse is uttered by a Brahmana, that curse is also insurmountable. But Bhagavad Gita also says that the curses or benediction of material world are after all material creations. So the Chaitanya Charitamrita confirms that which is accepted in this material world is to be benediction, and that which is taken to be curse are both on the same platform because they are material. Even curse and benediction both are useless. To get out of the material contamination, one should take shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like one of the stories we hear in Bhagavatam when Vasishta he curses one of the kings because of his killing an cow, and he don't get affected by the curse. He practice devotional service and go back to God. So the best path is to transcend all material curse and benedictions and take shelter of Supreme Lord Krishna and remain in a transcendental position. Person who take to shelter of Krishna are always peaceful. They are never cursed by anyone, nor do they attempt to curse anyone. This is transcendental position. Yes, Gil Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Oh, I wasn't able to follow this story or the point of the story at all. The one where I think was the grandson of Bhima.
Okay, see what
And
happens is, yeah. See, he is having an arrow which can pierce. If you go to a fight, one arrow is sufficient. He can kill all the soldiers. So then Krishna says, okay, show me your power. He tells, okay, this is a tree. You pierce the leaves of this tree. So the arrow goes and pierces all the leaves of the tree, and then it comes and to the feet of Krishna and start hovering because one leaf was under Krishna's feet. So it could not affect. So what this barbaric said that whoever is losing, that team I will fight in the Kurukshetra battle. And because Pandavas are protected by Krishna, Krishna understood nothing will happen to them. But still, the point what I want to tell is these powers don't work on devotees because protected by Krishna.
oh, just like that leaf was protected by
By
Krishna.
Krishna. So similarly, whoever is under the feet of Krishna, because this is under the feet, so devotees are also under the shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. So that will protect.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
So the point what I want to here Chaitanya Charitamrita also says that don't get affected by curse or benediction. Both are material, nothing to do with us. भवव्रतधरया ये च ये च तान् समन्वृता पाषण्डीस्ते भवन्तु सच्चास्त्र परिपन्तिनः. One who takes a vow to satisfy Lord Shiva or who follows such principles will certainly become an atheist and be diverted from transcendental scriptural injunctions. So now this is applicable to some of the followers of Lord Shiva who are going to Shiva with materialistic point of view. They'll end up becoming, they will lose faith in the Shastras. So this is actually what happens to them. So by curse of courtesy of Bhrigu Muni, we can say, he cursed all the followers of Lord Shiva like that. So he says that it is sometimes seen that the devotees of Shiva imitate the characteristics of Lord Shiva. For example, Lord Shiva drank an ocean of poison. So some of the followers of Lord Shiva imitate him and try to take intoxication like ganja, marijuana. Here, the curse is that if someone follows such principles, he must become an infidel and turn against the principles of Vedic regulation. It is said that such devotees of Lord Shiva will be Sat Shastra Paripantinaha, which means opposite to the conclusions of Shastra or scriptures. This is confirmed in Padma Purana also. Lord Shiva was ordered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to preach impersonal or Mayavada philosophy. So, Mayavadam Ashashastram. So Lord Shiva tells to Parvati that I am going to Kali Yuga as a Brahmana and I am going to preach Mayavada, which is Asat Shastra, which is against the conclusions of scriptures. Sometimes it is necessary to preach a philosophy doctrine which is against the Vedic injunction. In the Shiva Puran, it is stated that Lord Shiva said to Parvati that in Kali Yuga, in the body of a Brahmana, he would preach the Mayavadi philosophy. Thus, it is generally found that the worshippers of Lord Shiva are Mayavadi followers. Lord Shiva himself says, Mayavadam Asat Shastram. Asat Shastram, as explained here, means that the doctrine of Mayavada impersonalism. So Bhrugumani, he curses that people who worship Lord Shiva, see, it is not for all who are going with this materialistic point of view for them. Then if they have some sincerity, Shiva will send them to some great other Vaishnava so that they understand. He himself is Vaishnava, is having Rudra Sampradaya, but still they will come to many of the devotees of Lord Shiva, they became ISKCON devotees. Now they did not get affected by Bhrigu Muni's curse because they had a different motive in worshipping Lord Shiva. That's why when Bhrugumani cursed that persons who worship Lord Shiva would become followers of this Mayavada, Asas Shastra, which attempts to establish that the Supreme Personality of God is impersonal. Besides that, among the worshippers of Lord Shiva, there is a section who live a devilish life. Srimad Bhagavatam and Narada Pancharatra are authorized scriptures that are considered Asat Shastra or scriptures which lead one to the path of God realization. And then, yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Through
Huh.
this uh, Lord Shiva spreading Mayavad, is it because of Bhrigu's curse he's taken this road? How it is?
No. That is a different purpose only. This propounder, he came to propound this because he wanted to remove Buddhism. He wanted to eradicate the philosophy of Buddha. That's why he has to come to establish. And this philosophy is always there. He is only propounder of that philosophy. This Mayavada philosophy, not that Shankaracharya created it. It is from beginning of creation. All these philosophies are eternal philosophies. Sometimes some of the philosophies they become prevalent, and then they continue like that.
All
So
right. Thank you.
he did not create it. It was there. He just came and he spread it.
All right.
And he wanted to remove Buddhism, and he used Mayavada to remove Buddhism.
All right. Thank you.
नष्टसुचा मूढधियो जता भासम भस्मास्ति धारिणः विशन्तु शिवदीक्षायां यत्र दैवं सुरासवम्. Those who want to worship Lord Shiva are so foolish that they imitate him by keeping long hair on their head when initiated into worship of Lord Shiva. They prefer to live on wine, flesh, and such things. They are actually materialistic enjoyment. It is not any spiritual enjoyment. Having long hair, fish, wine, and other flesh, fish, and they have five things: Madira, Mamsa, Matsya, and all these things: fish, meat, and wine, and whatever. So why it is very gross bodily enjoyment. Even we also can understand what is their enjoyment in alcohol and all non-veg. The smell itself is so nasty, obnoxious. But they are caught in more ignorance. That's the thing. That's why they're interested. Indulging in wine and meat, keeping long hair on one head, not bathing daily, and smoking ganja are some habits which are accepted by foolish creatures who do not have regulated life. By such behavior, one becomes devoid of transcendental knowledge. In the initiation into Shiva mantra, there are mudrikashtaka, in which it is sometimes recommended that one make his sitting place on the Aegin and thus desire nirvana. and Vaigna and or dissolution of existence. In that process of worship, wine is needed, or sometimes in place of wine, palm tree juice, which is converted into intoxication. This is also offered according to Shiva Agama, scriptures as mentioned in the worship. So, what is the point here is, see, they also get power. This is power in ignorance. Don't think that there is power in only for sages. No, there is power for people who are worshipping in this form also. They are also very powerful, but it is Satuguna has power, Rajuguna has power, Tamaguna has power. So, Devatas, they try to derive power in Satuguna. And Asuras and Rakshasas, they try to derive power in Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So this Tantric and all this is power in Tamoguna. And Satoguna, and always there will be fight between Satta and Rajas to predominate, and then whoever is very powerful, they will get, they will be victorious. So here also it's the same thing, that they are gaining power by all these methods. We don't know the details, so how to do all this Shiva mantra and Mudrika Ashtaka and all these things. And some people know also, they try to do these things, try to gain power. But they are very dangerous powers, not good, because that will only make us bond in this material world and try to stay, because it gives also so much pleasure. There is pleasure in this, otherwise why people will do. Only thing is, this pleasure is not recommended. That's the point. Okay, thank you all very much. Any questions, comments? Okay, we'll end here. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय।